Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Hello Buckeye fans, Jeff Rash here. Welcome to the Gilmer Coaches Show. I'm joined today by the head coach of the Gilmer Buckeyes, Alan Metzel. Alan, congratulations on a big win.
Thank you.
Big win.
We like those kinds.
Yeah, that was major. That was a big win.
Good.
So we're going to get to that here in just a minute. We're going to talk about the win over Henderson Lions this last Friday night here in Jeff Traylor Stadium. But before we do that, I want to talk about something with our audience that I think they enjoy a little bit behind the scenes. And it's kind of what we were just talking about before we came on to do the show today. And that's just the quality of the young men that are in this program right now. And I know that a lot of that is because of the quality of coaches that you have and the teachers that we have in the administration,
right.
The community in whole.
Right.
But I was just telling Coach a few minutes ago, some of these guys down here in this field house do some work for me occasionally on the weekends and whatever. And I was just telling you how much I truly enjoy. And I've been around this program for 20 years, but I can't, and I've said this the last couple of years, it seems like it seems like we're getting better and better, but the quality of young men, I mean, just polite, respectful work ethic is amazing. Do you see that? I mean,
Absolutely.
Are you seeing that same trend?
We have some great young men. We get complimented by our teachers all the time that our guys are leading in the classroom. And obviously, they're young men and they make bad decisions from time to time or whatever. But as a whole, these guys, they're good young men. They really are. And that is what we're most proud of.
You know, and luckily you and I never made those bad decisions when we were that age, of course. But but overall, I just can't tell you how impressed I am with them. And that's what I love most about this whole program. It's not just about football. You say it all the time, right?
That's right.
It's a mission field.
That's exactly
right. We use football as a tool.
And
right?
it's in every program that we have in this school. We say it all the time.
Yeah.
From ag to band to drill team.
You name it.
Every program
ROTC,
is saying the same thing. That's exactly right.
It's amazing. It's exciting. Every time I drive by this new school, I look up there with such pride. And I think I think you're seeing it manifest psychologically with the kids too.
Sure.
I see that. I see that. You know, Rick Albritton and I were talking this last week about how we can't wait for all the schools that haven't been here yet to our stadium to come pull up into this stadium and look what we have. Yeah, look what we have. One of the best schools in Texas, certainly in East Texas. And so there's just a lot of good things that are happening. You can look around the world and it's easy to get down with all the craziness that's going on, but I'll tell you what, our little pocket of the world here,
we're blessed.
We are. We really are. That's the right word, and it's never been better.
Right.
And so that's the reason I love to raise my kids in Gilmer, Texas.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk a little bit about football. You know, I made a statement in the broadcast the other night that I felt like we looked like we were in game 6. You know, 5 or 6. We didn't look like game 2. We didn't have the mental silly penalties. You write the illegal procedures, offsides, those kind of things.
Right.
Had a couple of 15-yarders, but those are from being aggressive normally. And you know, if you're going to get them, that's the ones I want. I don't want an illegal procedure, but every once in a while you take a 15-yarder.
Right.
But you said something a while ago, and I think you should explain this because I didn't think about spring.
A year ago. Yeah.
But last year I mentioned to you that it seemed like the first 5 or 6 games we couldn't put 4 quarters together.
Right.
It was the first 3 or 4 games. We were good second half. slow to go. Then we flipped it. It was first, and then all of a sudden we kind of came together.
Right.
But this year, you guys have put 4 quarters together, two games in a row. Why is that?
Well, I think a huge part of it has to do with we had the spring. Really, when we cut out of school a year ago, from spring break on, we lost all of our spring football, every bit of it. And of course, other people did too. But for us, we carry a pretty sizable volume of offense, defense, special teams, et cetera, into a season. And it took a while for us to get there, last year. It just did. And we knew when we came in, well, we're going to be a little bit behind. We'll just have to catch up. Yeah. And eventually we did. But this year, I think you're just seeing the smooth transition, because we had the spring, we had the summer, we had great two-a-days and continuity, and we have a handful of returning starters that played deep into the playoffs. So when you add all those things together, you've got a pretty experienced team.
Yeah, well, and I didn't think about that. I didn't think about how much. You think about the summer, everybody's just kind of forgets everything, but you're saying spring has that big of impact on the fall when we roll around.
Absolutely, we get a lot in from the district track meet to the end of the year during our athletic time period. Wow. And so that's critical for us.
I never would have thought that as being one of the culprits.
Yes.
Well, regardless of that, I don't know. It's hard to say from year to year, who is the best team you've ever seen play. And it's way too early to call it on this team.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, from my point of view, from up here, up high, this has got to be one of the better teams I've seen. And I'm going to say that because of a couple of things. One, they execute well, and they're doing it early in the season. But to be honest with you, the other 2 reasons that I say that is, one, the size, because sometimes size really does matter. And number 2, and this is the biggest reason that I see, is just the depth behind every position. Right. Like you usually have your starters, and then you got your backups and all that. Every backup that rolls in is as good as the guy that starts.
They can go play. They can.
I mean, that front 7 on defense. I mean, how many kids do you have there just rolling through?
We're rotating a large number of kids. And if guys, it's great for morale, because they recognize, if I just buy into this and go hard, I'm going to get in that game. And they are. There's large numbers of guys that are getting multiple plays in a game. So, there's plays to be had in the game, and if you'll just find your role, you can go make an impact. So, and we're seeing that.
Well, your defensive line is doing a great job, down in the gutter. But boy, that linebacking crew that you've got put together, I mean, there's some sizable,
very talented,
fast, and aggressive.
No doubt.
And these guys are hitting people in the
all over the place,
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and they can move around, they can cover. They're athletic. So when you've got guys who can run, then you've put yourself in a position to be pretty good.
Yeah, they're swarming.
Right. When you mess up, you've got the speed to react, to recover, and make up for that mistake.
Yeah, and then on the offensive side, we talked about this a little bit last week. Good size offensive line playing well. I think some adjustments that you made, especially in the tackle positions, been really key.
Right.
But the depth at your backs, the depths of receivers.
Right.
I mean, you look out there and you go, who do you cover? If you're a defense, you look, you go, well, we're going to cover Fluellen. Well, then you got Rockwell to deal with, or you've got,
Gilo.
the other, or Gilo, or you got the whole deal. I mean, you got fullbacks coming out of the backfield. So
exactly.
So it's kind of a tough for any defense, because there's just weapons all over the field.
That's what we want. We want to make it where they've got to, not only do they potentially have to cover them, but we want to move the ball around to a lot of people, to where when the defensive coordinator is looking at their hit chart, we're using the whole field horizontally and vertically, and then we're putting it on all the different positions. Well,
how do you pattern that?
That makes it tough.
Yeah, it makes it tough.
That's the goal.
So let's talk about Henderson. We were picked 38-point favorites. Todd and I on the broadcast were even a little bit, we didn't even mention what it was. We said, we're picked to win by a lot, but we're not even going to say the number because we don't think that's going to be the number. We were wrong. It could have been not 38, it could have been 45 or 50, actually. And so, what did you see in the game that you obviously liked? I think I could challenge you and say, what did you not like?
There was a handful that I liked. I liked, most of all, the week of preparation. I liked that they understood we were playing a team that was very competent. I mean, they had size, they've got athleticism. It's not like they're not a potentially good team, and I think they'll be fine as they move forward. Our guys really zeroed in on the game plan. We saw some things that we felt like that we could attack, and then they made the play. Well, there's a big difference, and everybody in the stands going, oh, because it was incomplete, and that official raising his hand saying that's a touchdown. There's a big difference there. And when you start stringing together a few of those where you're making that play, so Rowan scores on the third play, and then on their first drive, then he picks off the pass. Well, the difference in that catching that awkward interception he had versus dropping it, and then going down and scoring. That's a huge turn in the game.
Sure.
So now, just psychologically, things start to mount on the opponent to where if you let them stay in the game, it's a war, you know. But when you make those plays, especially early, that's when you have the opportunity to kind of stretch things out a little bit.
Yeah, and I was in the field house part of the game. You were talking to the kids, and one of the 3 points you brought up was got to make big plays.
Yes.
And that was a big play.
That was a big play.
Big play, because it shifts momentum, right?
Well, and things like getting them from jumping off sides. We started the game with a hard count, and they jumped. Well, then now they're a little bit more hesitant. Or when they are trying to block your extra point and they're bringing 3 guys and you fake out the backside, and all of a sudden now they're not rushing. So there's certain things, if you hit that, it slows the opponent down.
Yeah, it makes it hard to coach a defense against an offense like that. So why don't we look at a few plays from that particular game?
Yes, sir.
And let's talk about it. This first one, we have 8 of them we're going to go through today. This first one was the Rowan touchdown pass from Brandon.
Yes, sir. Third play of the game. We felt like we could get Rowan out in space. Brandon puts a great ball on him. Once Rowan catches it, he just lets his speed take over. I'm going to show it to you from the end zone here. You can see the opening in the middle there from hash to hash, and so that's where we're trying to get Rowan. Great job on the pass. Leads him into the middle, and off he goes.
Yeah, Brandon does such a good job of leading his receivers.
He does.
I mean, he puts it right there.
He does. He's always throwing it on time and in the spot they want it.
Yeah, and then the next play is where Rowan makes an interception here.
Right. Got great pressure. A lot of times you put pressure on a quarterback, he doesn't always make the best throw. You can see he's throwing off balance here, just kind of tosses it up. It's a little bit off from his receiver, and here comes Rowan. He goes up, makes an off-balance circus-type catch, and big play for us, and so we get to take it down and get in. We already are on the plus side of the field.
Yeah, so this is Ashton Haynes taking it on into the end zone, who's done he's turned into a real Earl Campbell type running back.
He really knows how to gain yards even when they're not there. And I put this one on here. It's not. It's a 7-yard touchdown run. Just watch the blocking on the edge. Watch Braylon Ward here, number 54, right there, and then you've got our fullback getting up in front of their guys. They're all stretching it. Our guard seals off the linebacker. Ashton sees it and goes right into the end zone.
Cuts right upfield. What I like about Ashton's running, he's a north and south runner.
Absolutely.
Runs north and south.
He sticks his foot and goes for the goalpost.
So this next play we're going to watch is Parker Gilo making a touchdown catch, and walk through this and talk about what happened here.
Sure. We're going to send our running back out in motion out here to the side, and we're really looking at this linebacker out here in the flat, and we're going to read the running back to our hitch route right there. And you're going to see their cornerback jumps into the picture down here at the very bottom of the screen. Well, Brandon sees that, knows where Parker is going up the sideline, adjusts his feet, and there's no one on Parker.
So
it made it look very easy.
He sees that he's pulled in the corner.
That's right.
Into the play, so he knows automatically, even though he's not looking downfield, he knows if he's here,
then Parker's open.
Then Parker's got to be open. So he pump fakes and looks up, and sure enough, there he is.
And there it is.
I tell you what, the poise that this young man's showing in the pocket this year is just amazing.
Tremendous.
He's standing there taking some licks, but he will stand in the pocket and have a defender 3 yards from him and wait, and then fire a bullet right where it goes and then take the hit.
That's exactly right.
I mean, I've never seen a quarterback at high school level more poised in the pocket, I think, than Brandon right now.
You can just see he's picked up where he left off last year. And he's really playing at a high level right now.
Taking it to another level.
No doubt.
This is a big old swarm from the Black Flag defense.
You're just going to get the feel here of these guys. being physical. There's a lot of black jerseys flying to the ball right there. That's what we want to see out of our defense, being physical, do your job, and then get the guy on the ground.
Yeah, so then next play is you're going to talk specifically about one very important defensive lineman, Derek Borda, here making a big tackle.
Derek's playing nose guard. He's right over the center, right over the ball, and there's a lot of space in between him and those tackles in this specific defense that we're playing. And so he's got to kind of take care of that middle, and you're going to see him make the center miss and then single-handedly throws the running back down. Pretty impressive play on his part, very athletic to be able to control the middle like that.
Yeah, for a big guy, he can really move those legs.
He can.
Here's another good swarm from the Black Flag defense.
You bet. Love seeing them get upfield. Here's Matthew, Burton, and then here come the rest of them. And the running back is trying to find a place to go, and they're just more of them kept coming. And a big loss right there.
You always say that the value of a defensive player is based on his proximity to the ball at the end of the play.
That's exactly right. Nice job pulling that whole quote off. That's a long one on the back of a shirt we have.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And then finally, the last play was LaDalen Jackson, 65-yard run.
You got LaDalen here. LaDalen, we mentioned last week, he's one of those guys that was on our 4x2 relay last year at the state track meet. We're running a screen pass to him. He slips out, and once he gets out into the open, he can really go. And splits some defenders here. You can see a guy dives, kind of trips him up, and then the guy with the angle was able to get on him. I think if he hadn't got that stumble, he might have gotten away from the guy. But LaDalen has really made some big plays for us, all the way going back to our scrimmages. He has that big play ability.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was talking to you about, prior to coming on the show today. How do you even pick between a Haynes and a Jackson? I mean, they're both just fun to watch.
Right.
I mean, you have more of an Earl Campbell type runner, or and then more of an Eric Dickerson, I think, type runner with Jackson, who's just got to be the quickest guy on the field. By far, he can really move. We talk about Rowan, and he's just fluid through there. Well, this one's not fluid. He's just quick. He can stop and go really fast. And then you got this whole group of other backs to choose from. You got Mike Colbert, that can jump in there at any time and
very athletic,
looking
Keith
good.
Rockwell, short yardage, big strong guy. We put him in.
Yeah, benches 350 pounds.
Right.
You got choice. You could always pull in should you choose to.
Absolutely.
There's just a whole slew of backs, one behind the other.
We got some good versatility.
A lot of weapons there.
No doubt.
So it's good. So let's talk about next week.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we got Atlanta. We got homecoming. Atlanta's struggling a little bit this year.
Well, they played Dangerfield and they played Pewitt, Paul Pewitt, and lost close both times. Had a chance to watch both the games. Could have won both of them. I believe in the Pewitt game, they went for 2 to tie it and didn't get it, and then Pewitt was able to run the clock out, and they didn't get a chance to go back down on offense again. They've had some injuries. They lost their starting quarterback one of the scrimmages, so they're playing with a second quarterback, which has hurt them a little bit. But they've always got speed. Yeah. I mean, they have.
That's why they're called Rabbits.
They are, and even their down defensive tackles and stuff, they're like 30 numbers, and those guys are getting off the ball. They're really quick. So that when you break it, your likelihood of breaking it all the way for a touchdown is less likely than it is against a lot of other teams, just because they're so fast. So that means that you've got to be able to string together a number of plays to get in the end zone, and then you've got to, conversely, you've got to get hands on them and make them make a lot of plays and not score in that one play.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things we're focused on this week.
Well, we got homecoming, so we hope everybody will come out for that. Coach will never give us a score prediction on camera, but he told me beforehand it was going to be 60-14 guaranteed.
No.
And
no. They know better. I don't predict them. I just don't do it.
That's just my prediction.
I'm predicting that we'll play well, and hopefully we'll get to enjoy talking about a good game.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
You bet.
All right, folks, it's homecoming week, so make sure that you are back in Buckeye Stadium. 3 games in a row in Buckeye Stadium. That's always nice. And then we got to travel.
3 games away.
Yeah, we got to go to Lindale, got to go to Carthage.
And then Spring Hill after the open week.
Yeah. So we enjoy our last home game here for a while. Come see us play here in Jeff Traylor Stadium for homecoming. So get your moms, get all your stuff put together.
That's right.
Have a good week and good luck this week, during practice. And
Thank you. Tomorrow we'll be laboring on Labor Day right out there. So.
Yeah, my son's already told me. He's
That's right.
we're going to be laboring at 7 a.m. on Labor Day.
On Labor Day, they'll be
I'm
out
like,
there.
That's awesome.
That's
the way
it.
It should be.
That's it.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching.